Hello and welcome. I am Nitin Gokhale and I am privileged to have with me today Sri Lanka's new president, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, a former soldier turned administrator and now the nation's chief executive. Welcome, Mr. Gotabaya, to this interview, and I'm really honored and privileged that you have given this time to me. I think perhaps your first interview after taking over as Sri Lanka's 7th executive president. When you actually spoke first after becoming the president or after winning the elections, you mentioned that we are equidistant from almost every pass in this region. And you want to be neutral. You want to have, perhaps, if I am read you correctly, national security and national priorities are your first priority, rather than looking at who you align with or that kind of thing. But this question always crops up, and that's why I'm asking you: is China versus India in Sri Lanka? What is your view on this?
See, I have mentioned this even in my acceptance speech.
Yes.
That we want to be a neutral country. It is possible that there are examples in the world where, but we know the Indian Ocean is plays a very important role at the present day in geopolitics.
Of course.
So we are geographically situated in a very strategic location, and all the sea lanes are passing through close to Sri Lanka from east to west. And you know that the importance of these sea lanes, because especially when Asia is developing,
when becoming center of gravity, as you mentioned,
and more their produce has to go to the world, and at the same time, when you develop, you need energy. The energy resources still is in Middle East, so that it has to come. Then the minerals are in Africa. Those things has to come
from there.
So this is very important. So, but the thing is, these lanes must be free for the whole world, any country. So no country should control these sea lanes, because that's very important. And when I say neutral, we don't want to bandwagon one country or get into a balancing act.
Somewhere,
We don't want that. That is what I said, neutral. We don't want to be. We are so small, and we can't survive if you get into this balancing acts
or business of choosing one side.
We can't do that. So that and we don't want to get in between this power struggles of superpowers or world powers. So basically, we want to work with all the countries, and we don't want to do anything which will harm any other countries. Now, for that matter, we understand the importance of the Indian concerns. So we can't specially act or engage in any activity which will threaten the security of India.
Which is well said.
That we have we know that, and we are in the region. India is a big power, is a big country, and though we want to be independent, sovereign nation, that's very important.
Of course.
But we don't want to get involved. We have to understand the other
point of view of other
countries, and act accordingly. So, but everybody wants today, the most important thing is economic development. Right? So that you can't, to do that, you can't be in a restricted zone.
Mindset also.
You have to open up while protecting your country, while protecting your industries, while protecting your businesses. Still, you have to open up to get involved in the world economy.
Exactly.
So for that we are ready.
Right.
So that is why we want to get assistance from India, from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, China,
Right.
Japan, and this is very important. But then you have to face the reality.
True.
So if in our case, our involvement with China the last few years, especially during Mahinda Rajapaksa government period, it's purely commercial.
Absolutely.
But because of from the very beginning, world analysts, the geopolitical analysts, put us also into the
orbit.
So even Hambantota,
I was just coming to that.
harbor, they tried to show as a part of the ring of pearls, so that which circles the India. But in our this thing, it was not so. Actually, the requirement for ours, we understood, and we were never to give the control of the port to China.
Yes.
So that was a mistake.
Unfortunately, yes, the previous government gave
it 99-year lease, and even China, though China is a good friend of ours, and we need their assistance to develop, I'm not afraid to say that was a mistake.
Right. So will you revisit that?
And I will request them to renegotiate and come with a better to assist us. I mean, today the people are not happy on that deal.
Correct.
Because we can't think of only 1 year, 2 year, 5 years. We have to think of the future. What will happen
to the next generation, maybe, or the generation after. Yeah, exactly.
So it's our, giving a small land for an investment is a different thing. To develop a hotel or commercial property or build, this is not a problem.
Right.
That's no issue. But a strategically important, economically important harbor, giving that it's not acceptable.
Right.
Because that we should have the control. So we have to renegotiate. Giving a terminal for the operation, commercial, it's a different. Giving some location to build a hotel is a different.
Right. But not the control of the port,
not the control of a very important,
strategically very important, yes,
very important
exactly
place it's not acceptable.
No, I'm glad you clarified that. Yes.
So that is my position. And also, we want to work with India very closely.
Right.
And we want to work with China as well. But diplomatic relations, economic relations, that everywhere India is working with China very closely. I know, and Indian investment goes to China, Chinese investment come to India. Like that, we want investments and help us. But we will not do anything to do with, we don't want to get involved in military and
geopolitical rivalry, which you mentioned.
Yes, as I mentioned. So
that's right.
And the other thing, what I want to tell the world powers, the others, like India, Indonesia, Singapore, Japan, Australia, the reality is they are scared of the Chinese involvement. That's a reality.
Exactly.
That's
true.
But in our point of view, it is commercial. So that we are a small country, as I said, we want foreign investments to improve our economy. So I invite India, Singapore, Japan, especially, and Australia to come and invest here.
Right.
So that don't allow only China to invest.
To dominate
the
investment, yes.
Come, that is what these governments must encourage. These, their private companies to come and invest, come and help.
Correct.
us without leaving
Right.
to one country and then grumbling.
Not doing anything on your own.
Oh yes.
But that is how.
So, and this is I openly say this.
That's right.
Because I want them to come and invest in this country.
I'm so glad.
And also, we are a small country.
Right.
Genuinely, we don't want to get involved in these things. But please understand that, and rather than putting pressure on us, understand us and get involved in economic development
of this country jointly.
This country. There are many ways they can. I'm not saying only putting money. There are so much of take our products.
Right.
We have tea, we have cinnamon, we have pepper, we have coconut, very important, and we can help in agriculture. So these are things, help in education, invest in high-tech industries.
Right.
There are a lot of ways that these countries can help.
So you will liberalize, I think, the policies also of investment, FDI,
Definitely,
all that.
I want to cut red tapes. I want to cut difficulties in old, rules and regulations. I'm doing it for the betterment of the country, and so we can assist. I will create an environment, this investment friendly.
Right.
Environment I will create. So I invite
That's something that people should take note of.
Yeah.
But you are going to India on your first overseas visit next week, perhaps. What are your two or three main points you will talk to India?
I will reassure
Right.
the Indian government that we will work with India. We are a India friendly country, and we will not do anything which will harm
the security interest,
interest or their interest. And I will request to, as I said, to help us in investment in many fields, and also help us in education.
Right.
That's very important. And also the development of technology.
So I'm sure you're looking forward to this visit.
Yes,
you're looking forward.
Yeah, I know. I think the present Indian government, even Prime Minister Modi has changed how he approached the neighborhood.
Oh yes.
So I'm sure
there will be a lot of things to talk about, but I'm sure you will have a better conversation with him as you come there. But let me just finally, let's do two questions. One is, of course, the pattern of voting that happened in the elections, and you mentioned it very clearly that you would have liked the Tamils and the Muslims to have voted for you. But now that you have been elected, you are also a president of the entire country. How do you take forward the reconciliation process with the minorities?
I believe the development is the answer.
Right.
For the last so many years, the Tamil political leaders and also the Sinhalese political leaders were talking about things that were, not practical, impossible to. So only to fool the people.
Right.
But we should focus on what we can do first, but give them everybody a good opportunity to live as a Sri Lankan in this country, to get education, live a better life, get a good job, and live in dignity. So that I will create that environment. Let the other political things go on, that you can discuss and take. But you can't only focus on that, neglect the well-being of the population. What is important is develop those countries, develop those areas, infrastructure development. But we did, but we have to continue that and push private industries to these areas to create more jobs in that area, and education improve. Education means not only the general education but of vocational education. Develop because for the long period these youth didn't have the opportunity to go to school. They were fighting in jungles. Now give them some training on skill levels, improve the skill levels, so that they can get into certain jobs. So create these job opportunities. This is my focus. Develop these areas so that they will get the equal opportunity like
so
the
the
others.
reconciliation will automatically happen.
It will happen.
So the final question here is this: there is this Western narrative about you, especially, that you are a authoritarian or racist Sinhalese leader, and then the Muslims have a lot to fear from your coming to power. How will you reassure the Muslims here?
I think it's the wrong perception that was created during the humanitarian operation, during this conflict period.
Right.
True that I was in the army for 20 years.
Yes.
I was fighting as an army officer of this terrorism.
Right.
Then I retired from the army and went abroad.
Yes.
I lived nearly 12 years in US.
Yes.
And then when I came back as the Secretary of Defense.
Right.
So, but then people recognized me only as the Secretary of Defense. They know only as a Secretary of Defense.
That's right.
So maybe because of that, they think, okay, this man is authoritarian, and I'm a disciplined person.
That
right. Doesn't mean
that, of course, yeah.
that you are.
You have nothing against a community. I'm sure.
I have not against, and I have proved in my action that I am not racist, or I don't work for only one section of the society. That is why I invited Tamils and Muslims, everybody, to join me in developing the country, in bringing the country up. So, though people, that the opposition can show me as a dictator or authoritarian person or whatever, but I'm not. And people will see in my actions
as you go along. Yes.
Yes. So, but I want to tell them to join me. So, and at the same time, I want to tell especially the international media.
Right.
Don't go by hearsay things, or don't go by rumors.
Right.
And don't propagate these things. Understand me, speak to me, meet me, and see how I'm doing, how I work, and give the correct picture of it. It's for we are a small country, developing country. The people should help us, not to put the obstacles in my way. So that will not help anybody.
Yeah, but those charges that were there against some of your officers, sometimes against you also, about human rights violations during the last phase, they still continue to come up once in a while.
No, see, war is not a rosy thing. No. Whether you internally fight, or whether the Americans come and fight in Iraq or Afghanistan, or UK come and fight in Iraq and Afghanistan, or whatever, whether it is internal or outside, war is not a rosy thing.
Exactly.
And everything doesn't go very smoothly, But we are a poor country, we are a lesser power. So our things are highlighted
which
more.
We spoke even in those years.
So
I remember.
The big powers can cover up
get away with a lot of murder. Yeah.
So that it's very unfair to do that, because as a nation we are Buddhist, we are a very peaceful nation. We were living, our history is so thousands years goes back to, and we have our own values. Our culture is very rich, and our
and I think the existence is very peaceful in that sense.
Yes. So rather than just criticizing on. And I like even the Tamil diaspora to forget about these things. Nobody is benefited out of this.
Right.
So nobody will get. So we must work together to develop and help the people in the country, irrespective of their. And I'm sure if the minority community understand this, then only if they do certain things which will create suspicion in the minds of majority community, only that the majority community will react.
Right.
So they had to understand that. They have to understand it. Everybody is a Sri Lankan citizen if he is born in Sri Lanka. So they have equal rights, everybody. But they should not do certain things. They have to understand the reality when there is it is whether, however, how much society move forward or advance. So even within the so-called advanced societies, these problems are there. No?
Of course, yeah, of course. There will always be differences between communities, and
yes.
That's how.
So that we have to understand that and live.
True. What is your priority as Sri Lanka's new president? What are your priorities, rather?
We have given our policy to the people. In that, we have identified certain areas that we have to act upon. Number one is ensure the security of this country and the people. So I had to readjust certain things in these institutions, especially in the military and also the intelligence agencies. And next one is the economy. That's very important at this time. So I have identified certain areas where we have to focus and improve. So the security and the economy
are the two first priorities.
First priorities.
Right. But in security, I mean, you are well known for what you did during the Eelam War 4. When you revamped the entire security structure, you got the intelligence setup completely reorganized, and of course led the entire war effort. What is, in your view, has happened in these last 5 years where there has been some slippage, and we of course had the Easter bombings on 21st April. So what do you want to do
It depends on the policy of the government.
Right.
So unless you give the priority and in your government's policy, if the national security is not in the priority list, then it trickles down to the lowest level. And that's what happened, because the past government did not give enough priority to national security.
Right.
And also probably they misunderstood the importance of national security to bring economic stability. First, you must have the stability in the country, and where even if for the local or maybe foreign investors to invest, local businessmen to invest, entrepreneurs to invest in this country. The national security is important.
Extremely important, yes.
So that is what happened during the last 5 years. Because that government did not give enough attention to the security of this country. And there were other things happened, especially on certain investigations on the officers, especially who were involved in our
humanitarian operation that
operations that we
yes.
had.
Yes.
That affected I think the mindset of
the morale of
the
security
people,
forces.
the security forces.
Yes.
And also there were things happening on the national intelligence side. That,
I see. Okay.
Because see, we have different agencies in charge of the intelligence part.
Okay.
Intelligence is important.
Yeah, very important. Yes.
That starting with the SIS, State Intelligence Services. That's the number one civilian establishment.
Right.
Then you have the military intelligence, the Army Intelligence Directorate, Navy Intelligence, and the Air Force Intelligence. But out of that, actually the Directorate of Military Intelligence, that's the intelligence arm of the Army,
right.
was the most experienced
right.
intelligence agency. Then you have the CID,
Correct.
that is
of the police.
Yes, and the TID,
Okay.
Terrorist Investigations Division.
Yes.
These institutions are more or less investigation units. They are good at investigating.
Right. Right.
Not
So post-event they are good.
not
anticipating maybe.
Intelligence.
Right.
Intelligence is a different
ball
completely.
Game, yes. Right.
So, but the previous government did not give this authority to the military intelligence. So they were more or less not involved
at all. Yeah.
in even gathering information, analyzing, and intelligence. They were not involved in that. So mostly it was the
civilian agencies,
CID and
yes.
TID, and probably SIS. But I should say that they were good at different areas.
Exactly.
Not in this not because of anything else. For the last so many years, where we had the terrorism in this country,
right.
LTT terrorism.
Yes.
In that, major role of intelligence was played by the Directorate of
Military Intelligence of the Army.
And also we train these officers.
Right.
They have the experience. So it's difficult immediately to stop that and give it to another. I think that was another reason.
Right.
So first thing is, of course, the government policy.
Correct.
Everything depends
so leadership,
on the government policy. Then the second thing is the institutions
right.
Which are responsible for the intelligence. If they were not given if they change the role,
yes.
then of course there is a issue. So these are the things that which ultimately led to this incident.
Yes, in April 2019. But that we will move ahead, because if I remember correctly, and we have discussed this number of times, sir, that you had actually got them on a one grid kind of a thing, all these agencies, when you were Defense Secretary. And
so now I have appointed a very good Defense Secretary who is a very experienced in these aspects and very dedicated officer.
Yes.
And I have given instructions to reconstitute this organization and
right.
get all intelligence agencies together and coordinate this
right.
and to work accordingly, rather than restricting them into
silos,
watertight apartments and working individually.
That's right.
They must share. That is what is important. So he will do that.
That's right. But do you think he also needs to do a lot of cooperation with countries around, like India, for instance, and other countries, Western countries maybe? Because today intelligence sharing is an important...
Yes, in this it is very important. Not like the LTT terrorism.
Right.
Of course, the LTT also had support from outside,
Right.
but that is the LTT outside organization itself.
Yes.
It is not
A
from
transnational organization.
transnational organization.
Yes.
So, but here it is not so.
Yes.
A lot of, we are only a part of
That's
it.
right.
The bigger organization is
Right.
outside.
Correct.
Outside and international
Yes.
and global.
Right.
So, it is very important that we get lot of help from outside agencies, because those countries are also facing this problem.
Same problem, yeah.
Whether it India or any other countries, most of the countries in this world
Sure.
are facing this issue. So they have advanced resources, technology, and more resources,
Right.
and also the knowledge of the Islam.
Yes. Or Islamic terrorism, let's say.
terrorism.
Yes.
And so therefore, we must use that
Right.
knowledge and that experience. We must use.
Yes. So in that context, let me also ask you, before I move on to the economy, there is always this criticism for the past almost, I would say, 10 years now, since 2010, when the war ended in 2009, that Sri Lanka does not need such a big army, such a big military. Your views on this, really?
See, it's up to the military and the leaders to decide what should be the strength according to the threat perception that we have to analyze. So that even after we increase the strength of the military when it was required during the conflict period,
Right.
then actually we did not recruit for the last maybe for 10 years.
Yes.
We didn't recruit people like
At that pace, maybe. At that pace, yeah.
Where then so normal attrition took place, and I think today the numbers have gone down.
Right.
And but then the focus also, see, during the conflict period, we needed the infantry people, the armor, and all these other
Combat arms you
combat
needed.
arms we needed. But we can change this focus
Right.
into different now, even in foreign armies.
Yes.
There are lot involved in national development.
That's right.
There are a lot of armies, even in the American army is involved in national development projects.
Right.
So we can change the focus and use them
Yes.
accordingly. You know? But at the same time, now in this type of situation, intelligence is more important.
Exactly.
So change the focus on
That's
them.
right. Yeah.
Maybe we increase the cadres of the intelligence cadres. Maybe we may put more investment on training of intelligence, the intelligence gathering mechanism. We have to change according to the threat.
That's right. The priorities will undergo a change. That's what you're saying. But let me move on to a little bit on the economy, because that's something that has also suffered in the last couple of years. And especially tourism had gone down. But now that you have come as the president, and there is obviously confidence building which has happened amongst investors and tourist operators and all that. What are your broad plans for economy?
We have identified certain areas where we have to focus, the new government has focused. We have to understand agriculture and plantation is very important to us. Still, 1/3 of our the population is involved in agriculture.
Right.
So we can't forget agriculture. Sometimes, the foreign advisors, they say that we have to focus on different things. But this is connected with our culture,
right,
our history.
Correct.
So we can't do that. And this is an area, any country presently, any country in the world, cannot forget the food security. It's very important.
True.
So we can't depend on outside, and it's in our culture, and it's an area where we can develop.
Right.
So that is I give priority.
Topmost priority, perhaps.
Maybe not topmost, but priority
to that. Yeah.
Because today there's a lot of technology.
Right.
Now, how much we assist in agriculture, whatever the successive government had many plans on improving agriculture, but still the farmer is poor. So this is...
He hasn't benefited.
He has not been. So this is bad, because then their children will not go to
agriculture
farming, because they see their parents are poor still.
Yeah.
So this is where we have to help,
right.
Especially. But today there are enough technology in the world,
right.
To with less investment get more
output,
income, more production.
Right.
Using even in water management, fertilizer management, using organic fertilizer,
right.
Then even like the greenhouses,
sure.
Drip irrigation, vertical irrigation,
right.
And also this in getting more proper advanced seeds.
Right.
That's very important.
More productivity which is there. Yeah.
And also the research and development. We have to develop these things by the government so that we can assist the farmer to get more income.
Exactly.
And also to develop the agriculture-based industries.
Right.
So make the farmer an entrepreneur.
Right.
Instead
of just a farmer, you are also making him an entrepreneur.
Make him a businessman.
Right.
See, now we about 40% of the produce of the farmer is wasted.
Okay.
Because of poor
storage,
packaging,
yeah.
And
transport maybe, lack of transport.
Lack of proper transport.
Correct.
So these are now, if you prevent these things, then automatically the income of the farmer will go up. And also now sometimes people grow tomatoes.
Right.
And when you get the harvest, now you can't sell.
There's a glut.
Then the prices go down.
Right.
So why not use this for making sauce? Or
right.
other.
So the forward linkages have to be there. Forward linkages have to be there.
So that that you get the proper value for your produce.
So I'm glad you are focusing on that, but also your strength has been on building big infrastructure projects and getting them delivered on time.
Yes, the infrastructure is important, no?
Right.
Otherwise, you can't take the development to outside.
Right.
That was the problem. So that agriculture, there are a lot of areas where we can improve in agriculture and plantation. We have for a longer period, actually, our main foreign exchange earner was the tea, rubber and coconut.
Okay.
So for centuries.
Yes.
So but today, because of poor management and other areas, that the income of these things have gone down.
True.
So we have to focus on these things, and not only these things, like other products like pepper.
Okay.
We produce the best
pepper, yes.
pepper in the world. Then the cinnamon. We produce the best cinnamon in the world. So there are things that we can. Now, unfortunately, we import certain items which we have in Sri Lanka.
Right.
So we have to improve these things. Then we can save foreign exchange.
That's right.
And we have to export, not only just export, what is important is the value addition.
Value addition, correct.
So we have to do value
Absolutely.
addition. And even in each and everything, move out from only the traditional systems, but improve the research,
Right.
And develop the product.
Correct. And make it a little more modern and
Yes,
practices.
so that you and also you find more markets,
Right.
and get the proper value for the quality. Now, it is very important for us.
Right.
The Ceylon tea.
Yes.
The Ceylon tea is very
well known.
We had but today the other markets have come up.
Right.
Other countries have come into the market. So we have to get the correct value for the quality. I firmly believe we should not go for quantity, but for the quality, and get that market for Ceylon tea.
Today the world is ready for quality, to pay for quality.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's where we have to and also when you talk about agriculture, it's very important to educate the farmer.
Correct.
In how to use the correct amount of water. Otherwise, the farmer wastes water.
Correct.
So then also the use of fertilizer.
Fertilizer, yes.
We have to
very moderate use of fertilizer
and the quality. And also gradually move into organic.
Organic, yeah. Correct.
Organic, because today there is a huge demand
of course
for organic
food everywhere.
That's true. This is where we have to educate, we have to assist and help the farmer gradually move into these areas, so that they can get a good income.
Absolutely.
So
I think
this is one area.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing, I'm very interested in developing our economy on technology.
I'm glad you said that. Yes,
because this is known as the 21st century is known as knowledge
is century, yes.
based century. So this is a good thing, because it's not a secret that our industrial base is not that huge.
Right.
We have small industries on high tech.
Sure.
But it's not at a higher level.
Right.
And also we don't have much of natural resources,
Exactly.
oil or gas or silver or any
or
minerals,
coal, whatever.
So, but what is important is we have a very skillful, easily trainable human resource.
Absolutely.
So that is where we have to focus this. So today we know the center of gravity of the development and also in the economy is moving towards Asia.
Asia, exactly.
A lot of countries, if we take only this side, taking from
east of Suez, let's say.
That of course, and even come to this side,
yes.
Starting from India,
yes.
Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Japan, China. So all these countries are
powerhouses
had come up.
Yeah.
And also, if you see, most of these countries have come up on. They have developed their economy based on technology
and human resources, like you mentioned.
So this is where we have a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
We should not miss this window.
Right.
So this is where I'm focusing another area. So, but then now this, see in information technology,
right,
and digital based technology, these are various lot of opportunities
exactly
for the for people
and the young people in your country. Yes.
And they can earn a lot of money.
Yes.
And the other important factor is linked with that is the education.
Right.
So you have to prepare this
generation of young people
to suit that economy.
Absolutely. The knowledge-based economy that you mentioned.
Yes. So this is my next focus.
Yes.
I'm putting a lot of focus on education. This is one area. Actually, I have to get assistance from all these countries.
Right.
And also there are other fields that I have concentrated actually on fisheries.
Right.
Because we are an island.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to develop fisheries. Then also the tourism.
Tourism, yes.
Very important.
Very.
And also we have to understand the world, where the world is the global development.
Yes.
Now today, in all these countries that I mentioned,
Yes.
there's a huge middle class.
Absolutely, and which has disposable income.
Yes. Now from India to China,
yes,
so much big. Now even I think it's about 400 million.
Yes, more than 400 million. It's growing. It's growing
in India.
Yes, in India
alone.
Correct.
So these are the people who go from country to country. These are the people who go as tourists.
That's right.
So there is, we have to attract. We have to improve our advertising in these countries and attract people, create different because there
segments
are
of tourism. Yes,
yeah,
there are different segments,
different
but it's a lovely
segments.
country anyway.
Yes.
I mean, it's a naturally beautiful country.
So there are now, even if you take the Indian tourists,
yes,
in religious
they all
areas,
come. Yes, exactly.
even for Theravada Buddhism.
Yes. Yeah.
There are a lot of
they go to Kandy and Anuradhapura.
This is the ideal country.
That's
so
right.
these are areas where we have to
concentrate,
improve. So the agriculture, technology, then
education,
the tourism,
fisheries,
the fisheries.
Yes.
These are the areas where we can easily improve quickly and get
the economy back on the rails. I think. Yeah.
So these are, and also the foreign direct investments is important.
That's right.
So we have to encourage the business people.
Right.
But what I am my requirement is to these high-tech companies to come and invest in Sri Lanka. Because we have a very easily trainable, high-skilled people.
Yes.
So therefore, I think it's good for them. I think even for them it's beneficial to invest in Sri Lanka on these areas.
So it will be a win-win situation for both, actually.
Yes. So these are the areas where I am really focusing.
Absolutely. On that note, President Rajapaksa, thank you very much for this time and your very candid views on everything ranging from economy to security and to development. It's always a pleasure to meet you, but thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.